Hey guys, Mike here from Old Man Things, and welcome to the Frog and Toad, smoking a James Upshaw. And if you saw the title, you are correct. I'm going to give you 10 ways how to annoy your wife. I've got some notes, so I don't forget anything. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, why would you want to annoy your wife? When I was a kid, we used to go to the Milwaukee Zoo. And one of the biggest things to see in that time period, at least for me as a kid, was Samson the Ape. One time we were there, and there was this really obnoxious little kid who was banging on the glass near it. Samson is just looking at him, and the kid's screaming and banging at the thing. And finally, that ape cupped his hand, put it by its butt, and took a dump in his hand and threw it as hard as he could at the window, and it landed right in front of the kid's face. The window, and the whole window went boom with the glass, and the kid went and screamed. And there was a zookeeper right there, and the parents said, "Why would he do that to our child, our wonderful child?" The zookeeper said they get bored. Well, we as husbands get bored sometimes. So sometimes it's fun to annoy your wife. Now, I will say this: I'm not responsible for anything that might happen by those that want to listen to me. Because this is, you got to be really good at this in order for it to work successfully. And I've had lots of experience. I'm having a cup of tea, so cheers, everyone. So the first one is getting the word wrong. So I'll give you an instance or an example. So this morning, my wife said you got to do lawn, get everything ready for winter because we're supposed to get snow. Boy, was she right, because we had like gale like weather, or it had gale winds conditions last night. It was terrible. Sometime in the middle of the night, without knowing this morning, it blew over my tiki bar and shattered a glass top side table. I mean, a big mess. I don't know if the tiki bar is even savable. Anyhow, I said I had a. I all of a sudden my back started hurting, and she said, "You're psychosomatic." So I started repeating that I was psychosomatic, but I said I was psychic somatic. When my daughter came out of the bathroom when she was getting ready for school, I said, "Mom says I'm psychic somatic. You're not going to put up with it." I kept on saying psychic somatic. So my wife couldn't take it anymore. She said, "It's not even psychic. It's psycho." So getting the word And the same theory of getting the word wrong, getting the song wrong. Now, I don't know if your wife's are like my wife, but my wife loves singing when we drive. Um, to put in a CD of her favorite singer, and she sings along. Well, if you can get the words wrong just at the right time, the timing is perfect on this one. It drives them crazy. And it's a lot of fun. Because then what you do then is you say, no, I didn't say that. I said what you said. It's just, no, you did. Or you say, like, what's her name? I will survive. I told her all the time it was, what's her name? Tina Turner. Tina Turner saying, I will survive. And she'd get so mad at me. And she'd say, no, she didn't. And I said, I know she did. And she liked Rick Springfield, and I would call him Rick Springsteen. Or Dan Fang. But I can't think of how to say his last name, but I would say it Fugelberger or something. That Dan Fugelberg? Dan Fugelberger? If you can say it where you really are acting like you truly think this is how it is and that she's wrong and you know better, that's the best. Doing a bad job. Now, this takes practice. And I. But doing the job wrong or doing a bad job, it's so much fun because you're doing it knowing you're doing it wrong or bad, and you gotta try to be serious. It's sometimes it's harder than you think, but it's a lot of fun. Talking about the wrong show that's currently on. So my wife's really into this show that she watches with my daughter. So I'll walk in and act like they're watching, I think it's Downton Abbey. And I'll start saying stuff about Downton Abbey. And say, did I miss that part? And she says, again, you gotta do it where you really believe it. A lot of times she sends me out to the shed, the Rock and Toe pub shed. And it's where she thinks it's like a punishment, but it's where I wanted to be all along. This one's really fun, and you gotta take in some chemicals, but it's kind of worth it. Pretend you don't understand how pesticides works on fruit. So she'll come back from the grocery store and they'll be like, say grapes, and she'll say, those grapes haven't been washed yet. So you gotta do it. You gotta time it just right. So when she turns, you you gotta be like licking the grave, knowing that they haven't been washed. So when she's screaming at you that they haven't been washed, you say, "Well, I'm washing it." The next one. Now, a lot of guys might not get away with this one. Calling it babysitting. So if your wife says you have to watch the children, she's going to go out and you have to watch the children. You say, "But I babysat last time." They will very quickly remind you that it's not babysitting your own kids. But you say it a few times. And you get in quite a lot of trouble for saying babysitting. At least I do. The next one is kind of reaching out there, but it's so much fun if you can do it right. Using for deodorant. It will drive them absolutely insane. You first use it in front of them, so they tell you off, and you pretend it's an accident. But then this is where you have to really reach out. It might be a bit disgusting, but you put one of you put one you purposely put one of your underarm hairs on the top of it, so when she goes to open it up, she'll see it. And then the best thing is you pretend that it's not yours. It's gotta be her. I did that once. I think I got away with it. I'm still alive. Next one is that you pretend you heard the word wrong. It's kind of like getting the word wrong, but you heard, so you repeat what you heard. You thought she said. You know what she said, but you repeat it wrong. And then even after she's corrected herself, you then go and do what you pretended you thought she had said, and then you'll try to be allowed back in the house later on that night. The next and last one, number 10, is get worked up about something you know she has no patience for. Now, like for me, when we go to leave town, if it's a weekend, we live in what they call the Cape Cod of the Midwest. And I mean, we had almost 500 million tourists last year. You got to get out to the main highway, and there's this roundabout right down our road to get to the main highway. It's always busy. And then a lot of times in the summer, you got to go over the bridge, and the bridge is up because of the sailboats going through. So my wife always says before we leave the driveway, "All right, now calm yourself down and be prepared that there's going to be a lot of traffic. You're going to have to wait, and the bridge is going to be up, so don't get worked up." And immediately when you get to that roundabout, you start getting worked up. and you start getting madder, and more upset, and you start yelling about the bridge being up, even though the bridge you haven't even gotten close to the bridge yet. Or for me, I used to get her going because if we were driving in the country and you'd get behind a tractor, I would always say, they don't pay any taxes. Well, she'd get so worked up because I'd say it over and over and over again. So you you gotta remember certain things and use them when you have an opportunity. I've got two bonuses. Bonus number one is you play a song that you know she hates. Now, for me, it's easy because anything Willie Nelson she hates. I love Willie Nelson, but anything Willie Nelson, my wife hates. But there's certain songs that she really hates because she can't stand his voice, but then she can't stand to have the song repeating in her head. And one of them is "On the Road Again." Another song that she absolutely hates, and she hates the singer, is John Anderson. And the song she really hates, worse than any other song, is "Just a Swinging." So you gotta time it where you're in the car and you're waiting for her to come in. And when she sits down, you got right in that exact spot John Anderson going, "Just a swinging, swinging." It's the best. You gotta figure out what it is. The next one is really stretching yourself. You got to be really comfortable, and you got to be really comfortable with your wife wearing her clothes and acting like there's nothing wrong with it. I put on her little cut off jean shorts once. Of course, I couldn't get them around. And I walked around them, and she said, "What do you think you're doing?" And I said, "What? My shorts are dirty. I thought these would be all right because they're cheap." This is one of those things I suppose you had to be there, but oh, was that fun. All right, guys, this has gone on a bit longer than I thought, but it was so much fun. I'm going to leave a picture of my lovely wife and I together. Now I feel lightheaded. I laughed so hard. Thanks for watching, everyone. Cheers and toodle pip.